Hi, so another update on the trigger templates feature. If you don't know what the feature is, or if you haven't watched last week's video, I suggest you do that because this video is going to be a bit boring. In the background, you can see that I'm switching between all the specs and show that the buffs, abilities, and debuff sections do contain interest, and that's what I did this week. There are two ways to collect such a database. World of Warcraft actually contains a database of every spell that is used in the game, same for every item or every quest that's in the game, that's stored all in a database. The problem with that is that the database doesn't contain all the information you need to figure out which spells or which buffs and debuffs are actually applied by the player. Spells have gotten increasingly complex to the point where the behavior or which buffs and debuffs they can trigger is no longer contained in the database but in some server-side scripts. And the second approach is the one I took, which is write myself an add-on which simply collects every buff and debuff it sees and every ability that I'm using, and then goes through the spellbook and use every ability, read the tool to every ability, read the passive effects, read the artifact traits, read the talents, and figure out which buffs am I missing. So the reason I took the second approach is because I'm more familiar with writing add-ons than parsing the databases that World of Warcraft contains. That actually worked quite well, except for all the special cases. To just mention a few special cases, for example, Brewmaster Monks have various effects that trigger on damage taken or rely on damage being taken first to clear, stagger, and those effects I had to add manually. Or for example, battle reses or executes. Those are hard to test with target dummies. So as you will see in this video, I actually went through every class, collected every buff, collected every debuff and ability, and added a few that I know that I missed. So what I need to do next is to polish the database, to add anything I can think of that is missing, and to figure out a few spells whether I want to remove them again. For example, Deathgate for Decays is probably a spell that no one wants to track, so I should remove that from the list. I will make sure that the database is in a good state before the feature is released. But with all the manual work that goes into this database, there's no way that there isn't anything missing or anything superfluous in this database. Once this feature is actually released, I will need the help of every class community to figure out whether I've done anything wrong for your class, or if you want anything more added. Also, you might have seen the PvP talent section. I didn't actually fill that in for any class yet. That's not as easy to collect as the other buffs and debuffs because there's no PvP training dummy. Also on the item section, I only filled in the PvE item set bonuses. So the trinkets are missing, the PvP sets are missing, and the legendaries are missing. There's still a lot of stuff to do for next week. So the next step, which I already mentioned a few times in this video, is to polish this database, to add all the missing stuff I already know of, to fill in the general section with some more stuff, for example, heroism buff, heroism debuff, pet behavior, pet missing, and probably a few more. The goal for next week is to get it ready for code review. Code review them will take a few days or even a bit longer than that, but it's getting there. It's really getting there. That's everything for this week, but the video continues for another 5 minutes to show every spec.